Hi, Ivy.
Welcome.
Hi.
No, Michelle, I'm so happy for you. I'm happy that your energy's lifted. It's reflecting just what I always say. You could post anything, and it's the intention and the energy that's coming through the post that causes it's we're all connected, right? And I had a moment in my breathwork this morning where I was like, wow, it's so true that in just past that discomfort where we're in the breath, you know, when we're wanting to breathe, that is where we are most connected to our divine source. That is where we are most connected to who we truly are and what we are actually capable of. And so we've got to keep embracing these areas of discomfort. Yeah. And looking for the signs that we're going in the right direction. Yeah. We're sharing wins, Ivy.
Okay. I'm just trying to get it in gallery mode and I can't figure it out, but that's okay.
I've got you in gallery mode, actually. I think it must be
top right.
Click the little view button. Can you see a view button?
Top right.
There's no top right on my computer. It's driving me crazy. I just want to top right. I have Zoom. Oh my gosh.
Oops.
He's gonna exit it.
You might have to get
technology.
because it's 1:45. So, and I don't want to be taking up too much of your time. So this is session number 1, where it's a great way to introduce the quantum coach approach and ask your questions, understand for you, you know, your intention with anything that we do. We want to really understand our intention. And we're going to be looking at the quantum wheel tool, because that takes the quantum science into almost, what's the word? Like into practicality. It's like everything we are is energy. Everything that we are weak in is an energetic leak. Anything that isn't aligned is an energetic leak. Anything that's off value, anything that doesn't light us up, basically where those feelings are that are low vibration. Oh, she's back.
Back.
And what we know from the energy of the universe is it's like, if we look at it on that scale of frequency, it's such a slow frequency. Sorry, it's such a fast frequency, high vibration, that it's like, it's, you know, it's high, it's light, it's moving, it's expansive. It's so fast we can hardly see it. It looks like a straight line. The energies of the emotions of love, the emotions of passion, the emotions of like ambition, that's how we get into those frequencies. So the quantum wheel can see where we and also our clients are in those lower vibrations and give immediate areas to be able to take some inspired action and make changes. What we don't want to be doing with the quantum coach approach is fixating on details. Everything's very much in flow. We focus on the vision. So the step 2 out of the quantum wheel is to help your client to create a vision that you can work towards. So this is a tool that you can use when you first get started with a client, almost like an inventory of where they are, to help understand, break the ice. It's an icebreaker as well. You can also pull it out when things get confused. Maybe they've just suddenly started self-sabotaging, or their energy suddenly changed, or they become like I like to call my clients delinquent, is when suddenly you have like a boom session, everything's fine, and then they come into the next one and they're like a teenager and they don't want to play. It's like they're just like the whole energy is like they'll have the arms crossed, and it's really kind of like, yeah. And I've had clients who are angry, who have thrown, like, you know, because there's shit going on for them. And the thing is, as the coach, you are their safe space. And so it's okay for them to come into our space where they don't have the outlet outside of the coaching session. They can't be honest. They can't get the words out. They can't rage. They can't vent. They can't get frustrated. They can't cry. They can do all of that in our session. But the quantum wheel can pull them back to like a tangible tool where you can go, hey, should we just get the wheel out? Have a look what's going on. So we're going to look at the quantum wheel today. Ivy and Michelle, you've obviously seen it before and worked through it. I want to get you to the point where in your practice pod, between the three of you, you can all have a go at this, both coaching each other, coaching so each of you gets to be the coach, the client, and then an observer of the session as well, because a lot of learning and absorbing and sort of, those aha moments when you watch somebody else and it's like, oh yeah, I could do that better, or wow, actually there's an opportunity there, or that's actually not that great. I don't want to be doing that myself. But we're in your practice pods again, you are all open, you are all helpful, you are all uplifting each other. So any sort of criticism is constructive and openly received so that you can grow.
I have a question. Could you use the wheel like at the end of the session, or at the end of your end of your session, not the end of whatever, 8 weeks with someone? Like, could you use it then too?
Yeah, definitely, because then you're going to see how far they've come.
So you would compare, you would have the one at the beginning and one at the end. And they can see.
Especially the quantum life score.
Okay. Oh, cool. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. And then you can, really see the growth and expansion. And that's the thing as well. It's really important for us to always be reflecting back to our clients where we're seeing them grow. Because when you're in that journey, sometimes you don't see it. And sometimes you can be hard on yourself. So and this is where we always have to be so present as a coach, noticing and hearing what they're saying, and really, and you've got coaching on listening as one of the coaching fundamentals. How do you truly listen? Because there's different levels of listening where we hear what we want to hear. We reframe stuff in our own mind rather than hearing what they say. We're not fully present when we're distracted. We sit and we're actually just waiting to speak as well. They're learning to be fully present, fully listen, and pick up the full journey of the client, how they've come from here to here, and what a beautiful quantum leap it is.
So can I just reiterate something? So you're saying like other styles of life coaching is focusing on the details, but with quantum coaching, we're focusing more on like the feeling and the vision,
the outcome.
Okay. It's more of the energy.
So ICF, International Coaching Federation, will be like, okay, this is what you want. This is your goal up here. Here's the steps to get to it. Here are the milestones every week. And so like one of the tools that I talk about in core 1 is the staircase intervention. When a client comes in frazzled and they're like, oh my God, I can't do it, or I'm all over here and I'm blah, blah, a really good analogy to use for them is the staircase. Right, you're on the stairs right now. You've already taken a few steps up. You're here on this step and your vision is right up the top. You don't need to know what is on each stair. I think we've used this, Ivy and Michelle, in one-to-one. Like, you don't need to know what's on the stairs on the way up. You just need to know where you're going, and the universe will drop the breadcrumbs. You just need to see what's on the next step. And I know with both of you, instantly you've been like a big exhale. Oh yeah, fine. I feel much better now. I just need to know what's just ahead of me. Now in core 2, you're going to revisit the staircase intervention. And you're going to see how those steps can completely disappear. By focusing on the detail of what's on every single step, which is International Coaching Federation, standard, bog standard, traditional life coaching, milestone, 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 milestone. We're placing our attention on the milestone so the milestone will manifest. That's not a quantum leap, and there's no room for quantum surprises. In the quantum field, if we're focusing on the outcome, we can abolish all the steps. We can jump from step number 3 to step number 10, where the result is, without having to take any of the steps, because we're not focused on how we get there. Mm-hmm. Isn't that exciting?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the distinction of the quantum coach. That's the excitement of working with a quantum coach. You know, anything could happen.
Can I just share a quick win that's related to that?
Yeah.
I was feeling really overwhelmed with like, I had to promote for my party. I don't know how I'm going to post. I don't know what I'm going to do. And so I went to like, well, let me raise my vibe and raise my energy so then I'll know what to do. And I literally did a 30-minute Kundalini practice. I raised my energy and I was done. And I was like, I'm going to share one of these moves on social media. And then I'll just plug the party at the end. Like I didn't, like the how disappeared. It was just like, I just need to share this. And then I'll tell them if they want to do more, come to the party. It just, there was no block. It was totally removed.
And it's inspired action. And that's what we were just saying. I'm not sure if you were on the call yet, when we were saying like, in that discomfort of breath work, when we're going into that breath retention, when you go over the hump, it's like, okay, I'm just about to die. Actually, I can push a little bit further. There's this moment of utter discomfort where you connect with your divine source. Everything is possible, like the true I am. Kundalini is the same, because it's uncomfortable, it's fast pace, it's like, you know, the breath work is. And that's it's almost like it's dropping the ego. It's like removing the ego completely so that you can connect in what the answer truly is. I wanted to celebrate you actually as well. Your stories, good stories.
Yeah, you made a point that I was just showing the like me being up here and the success, but not really the struggle or what I'm dealing with. So I took the information and integrated it. That's what you're referring to, right?
I absolutely. You completely, you just nailed it. It was really good. And people are going to connect with you on that because you're meeting them where they are.
Yeah.
So I was really celebrating that. Well done.
Thank you. Yeah, it's hard because when you think, oh, I have to share what my struggle is, but then I kind of feel like the nugget is when you get to the other side of the struggle, then share it like right when you're in that energy of it. You know what I mean? Because then it's like, it's relevant. And then you're also not like broken necessarily on social media per se. But yeah, I'm exercising that. So thank you for recognizing.
Awesome. So yeah, we want to be moving the staircase out of the way. We want to be helping our clients take these quantum leaps. I'm loving the hashtag quantum leaping. It's just like making my life right now. It's like I'm seeing like bouncy leaps with rainbows everywhere. It's just perfect. And the quantum wheel allows us to bring our client into awareness. Now, again, core 2, we're going to really dig into this quantum framework. So if I just share my screen with you, right. So when you coach with your clients, you're going to be taking them on this journey. And it looks like this. So it's the ABCP framework. So A is authenticity. So we are very fast getting them to that complete, authentic truth. Who are they? What do they want? What are they capable of? Obviously, and awareness, because it's the awareness that actually is the most powerful thing. Simply in the awareness, you catalyze the quantum process, right? It's like the focus changes, the intention changes, the energy changes. We then need to get into what is underneath, and that is the belief systems that have had them inauthentically living their life. We then come to this place of clarity, which is also coherence with the authentic self, showing up. Now you're going to learn the armor process that I use to to do this with my clients, which starts with avatar at the top, so 3 A's. We have the avatar, which is the vision, the armors, which is taking off the armors that we have put on to cope through the hard experiences through our life. And then the action, which is taking that story and leveraging it to create the future that you want. And what you're going to be doing in core 3 is creating your own process, your own patented process that you can trademark, that you can use in masterclasses, that you can be known for. I'm starting to be known for the armor process because I'm getting out and doing these masterclasses. I'm, coaching through this process with people. People are starting to say, oh, I'm taking this armor off. That's from my story. So we'll find what your process is, what your is with your clients. And one of the cool things, I heard this on an event just before I stepped into this certification journey. And he's an ex-NFL player, and he went from playing that to motivational speaking. And all of his mates just laughed him out the room. They were like, what do you want to go and do that for? You've given up this amazing career and income and everything else. And he was like, no, I want to speak. And he's the most incredible speaker. I can't remember his name now, but he said, all we're ever doing as entrepreneurs is taking all these different things that we've learned and then finding the gap in the market that still exists, that needs to be filled with our solution in the way that we do it, which is for our people, because like attracts like. And I was like, holy crap, that is so true. That is so, so true. And that's effectively what you're doing in core 3 is you're taking everything you've learned and you say, right, what is my process as a coach? How do I integrate the quantum coach approach to what I do and make it mine and fill my little gap in the market to attract the people that I want to help who have a similar story, which is what's going to make you super powerful and make money too. And obviously our 3rd P is prosperity, perception, and purpose. We want to make sure this effectively all creates prosperity, but we will have a new perception because we will have changed our story and we will be deeply connected with our purpose. Because if you want to talk about the one thing that lights your soul fire up enough to be in those higher vibrations, it is purpose. I know any day now where I feel unsure, if I come back to my purpose and what I'm doing and I think bigger on it, I'm straight away in a completely different energy. I actually got these Earth Warrior cards now as well. And they are amazing fun. They are just honestly, the messages that I get in them are just just amazing. It's like there's these little Earth Warrior, oracles just backing me up and giving me those nudges when I feel unsure. So that is the quantum the quantum framework, the QLI framework. Does anybody have any questions on that?
I'm just curious why there's a dash between ABC-P.
It's because this is almost like the quantum leap here. We need to do this shit before we get over here.
Okay.
This is aligning, this is shedding, this is discovering.
Mm-hmm.
What people try to be is over here. They try to have before they are.
Mm-hmm.
And the quantum coach is helping their client to say, you don't just get this shit. You don't just have all of this stuff that you want because you want it. You have to be the person who is creating it, which means we have to clear all this stuff up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Ivy.
It's okay. That was a good question. I like it. I like the answer. Beliefs. Is there an exercise that we can take clients through to figure out what their beliefs are? Because some people don't know.
I'm going to be teaching you the lens process.
Okay, cool.
And that's core 2. Yeah, core 2. In core 2, I take you through these, how you move your client along basically, and the tools that you can use, as well as we dig into the science. And I know that you guys know a lot about the science. So it's not a case of telling you what you already know. It's like, how do you take the science into a coach approach? We go deep into the emotional biohacking in core 2, which I love. Obviously, it's like, yeah, it's my thing. And ways that you can change your client's state of being, which again, a lot I learned from Joe Dispenza. And a lot you'll learn, which is why I say there's only one book I want you to definitely read out of that reading list for this, and that is Joe Dispenza's Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. I'm also going to introduce you to Stephen Porges, who is a trauma coach. What's his name? What is he? He's I can't think what he is, but he's amazing, because obviously what we're doing with emotional biohacking is working on a genetic, nervous system and brain level. And he really works with the nervous system and the polyvagal theory. Have any of you ever heard of the polyvagal theory?
I feel like I have. I don't remember it, but I've definitely heard of it.
Yeah, we're going to be digging into that because that's really important too. And I think, again, this is the beauty and what really excites me about the quantum coach approach. Business coaching, life coaching, none of that stuff really digs in to what truly is the way that humans are wired.
Mm-hmm.
We want to be working with the mind and the body. And within the mind, we've got 3 brains up here, all with different things going on. So like and all of that leads to us being out of that coherence with universal energy. And all of us know the power of universal energy and being connected to divine source, which is why integration is such a huge part of the Unleashed Accelerator. Thank you for the new name. I love it. Because in those moments of peace and stillness, we are connecting. We are hearing those messages. We are slowing those brain waves down, and that is becoming part of who we are, so that we can do, so that we can have, right? So the quantum wheel. And life score. I'm assuming you can all see my screen, eh? I'm just checking it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So any coaching journey begins with an honest evaluation of your existing circumstances, awareness. A lot of what keeps us stuck in our life is us not really seeing what's really going on. I had a client reach out to me this morning, and she was like in despair. Her husband's got COVID. He's really sick. Her son's got COVID. He's really sick. She hasn't got COVID. She's fine, but she's vaccinated. Now she's feeling guilty because the other family wasn't, and all of this stuff. And I immediately connected with her, like on an emotional level, because she was reflecting back to me where I was in that hospital a few weeks ago with Bowie, when I was absolutely consumed by fear, and all I could see was one perspective. And it was the doctor's perspective. It was the worst case scenario. It was frightening the life out of me, and I couldn't see outside of it. I was stuck in a paradigm, right? And I felt my vibration was just, on the floor. Fear is just the just lowest vibration. It's just awful, right? And it just penetrates through your whole body. And I actually rang my sister-in-law, who's just trained as a positive psychology coach. And I said, I'm not coping here. I need somebody to give me another perspective. And she was like, well, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to ask you some questions. Okay. Is that all right? I was like, that's all right. She asked me these questions, and all of a sudden, like, I could feel the room opening up. I could feel my perspectives widen, my perception widening. I could feel myself reconnecting with what I know to be my truth, not the doctor's truth, my beliefs. I got deep into radical remission because I had 2 best friends and my mum and another friend all get diagnosed with cancer in the same year. And I really wanted to understand how I could help them. And this radical remission book was fascinating. 9 out of the 10, I think it was 9 at the time, and now it's 10. And 9 out of the 10 things that they say heal cancer and bring on this radical remission, they're all in the mind, not the body. I think it's like nutrition, that's one, and then the rest is hope, it's belief, it's, you know, healing, it's all of this other stuff. And so she brought me back to my place of truth, and I was able to see an entirely different scenario for Bowie. And I then began to focus my energy on it. 18 hours later, we left the hospital. Now, I could then share that experience through questions with my client this morning to help her knock down the walls that she had closed in on her with fear, so that she had an honest evaluation of her circumstances, right? She had awareness of where she might be blocking herself, where she might be creating the outcome she doesn't want, where she might be being pinned down by fear. Awareness is everything. And awareness sets us free, because straight away out of that conversation, she feels differently. She's showing up differently. She's not wanting to quit the course that she's just bought from me. It's like, you know, she's feeling empowered again. So
can I ask a quick question? When you're talking about like the honest evaluation of your existing circumstances, is that sort of like why you have that questionnaire before you start? Is that really what that evaluation is?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because how hard is that discovery pack to fill out? It really gets you to think.
It's really hard.
It is, eh? To think about stuff you don't want to think about. You just want a solution.
It's almost like, it's like starting with that, it almost gets the client really ready for the session, right? To really begin to look within.
That's right.
And then you are kind of know where they're coming from.
100%.
Okay.
It gets them in the right focus too, because those questions get you. We are the source of everything. We are creating everything. Everything we have, we've manifested. And that was one of my questions to the lady this morning. It was like, the universe can only give us what we ask for. What have you given out in your energy that has given you the situation that you're in? And it's the same as everybody else. I was just going too fast. I wasn't slowing down. I wasn't stopping. I've been here, there, everywhere, and being everything for everyone. And now she's just stuck, right? In this situation where the universe is a forced pause. So, and that was why I really felt with COVID first time round, the collective consciousness had just got to this point of like saturation, like peak point. And it's almost like everybody in the world just needed to stop for a minute. And it was almost like that was the situation that was forced for us all. How many people woke up to their true passions, their true desires, how their relationships weren't working, you know, like where they actually wanted to live? Like, it was just insane. Everybody talks about the bad side of COVID. I think they had some good stuff too.
I agree with you. I don't even know if I would be here if it wasn't for COVID right now. Like I started doing deep work just to survive and take space from my family and my husband, because I just needed to, I didn't know what else to do, but I was like, I got to dig deep and get clear on what I want. And then like, even friends of mine, it was like, oh, are those people not even my friends? Like, where have I been wasting my time? It was very eye-opening. And it was a good break for the earth. I mean, the pollution from the traffic that went down in Los Angeles from people not driving was measurable.
Yeah. Same here. Yeah. It's funny actually hearing that they've made a lot of environmental decisions post-COVID about like waste and recycling, electricity. I think it really did show the potential to do things better. And this is exactly it. This is going to show your client the potential to do things differently, not necessarily better, because who's to say what is better and worse? It's just another approach. Remember, we're working towards the framework towards an entirely new perception. So in the Quantum Leap Intensive, this includes creating your quantum wheel and identifying your quantum life score. So there are many tools in coaching to give a client a clear picture of where their life is out of balance and where they are lacking fulfillment. positive psychology, man, there are like 100 different tools, that all of the, Gallup scores and resilience scale. I was saying I really like the satisfaction with life scale as a measure of the life satisfaction component of subjective well-being. I really like that. But a lot of the pos psych tools, I'm just certifying in pos psych, they're so detailed, they're so like, it's like, number crunching madness. The International Coaching Federation uses the Wheel of Life, and that's a great visual tool where you get to score each part of your life, so you can see the gaps. But again, it's very detailed. It's getting people to really focus in on what's bad in their life. And we don't want them doing that. We don't want them putting energy there. We just want the awareness. How do we get the awareness without being submersed in all of the low vibration stuff? In my spiritual coaching certification, there was a simple inventory where you give your relationship with every area of your life a score. In contrast to the quantum coach approach, most of the above tools take a client's focus outside of their own implication in their life circumstances to their circumstances in life. So you'll read in Joe Dispenza how he says how people's life circumstances identify who they are. The life circumstances identifying where your problems are. The problem is always within. The problem is always within ourselves, and it's to do with our belief systems, because our belief systems create the actions that create the circumstances in our life. So most of the traditional coaching awareness tools, they're looking in the wrong direction. They're getting us to focus in the wrong direction. Apart from the spiritual coach approach. So that reveals the relationship of self to each thing, thereby bringing the focus and the power inwards, which I believe is really powerful. So all of these tools get really granular with the details of dissatisfaction, which conflicts with the quantum coach approach that focuses on the potential for a solution. Remember, in the quantum realm, every single option for a solution exists. It already is. The best, the worst, and somewhere in between. What actually manifests is what we give our attention to. It is so easy to go to the worst case scenario because of what we know, what we've experienced in the past, and what we believe. That comes through as feeling, right? Worry, dread, panic, which sends the mind off in all these little, well, this is going to happen, and this is going to happen, and this is going to happen. Well, it all happens because worrying is praying. So we want to focus on what we want to create. And this creates the gaps to fill in terms of vision. So you're going to see the quantum wheel and the life score on the worksheet below. And your first activity as a quantum coach in training is to attend your first mentoring call where, so that's right here. Then you'll practice it with your study partner. I did write this in a mock coaching session that should be recorded and submitted for assessment. The quantum wheel and life score is a tool that can be used in an initial session with clients to get a powerful understanding of where they are at and how the coaching relationship can move forward. Ultimately, you may not feel that using the tool is necessary as you get more confident with asking questions at the initiation of the relationship. So what you were saying, Ivy, about the discovery pack, it might be that you don't use this and you have a discovery pack. Mm-hmm. You really understand the questions, but in the interim, as you guys build yourself up as coaches, utilize tools.
Yeah, because I don't even know. Well, I just haven't sat down to write questions. So yeah, this would be it could be a good place to start.
Yeah. And you can, like I said at the start, you can use it all the way through the journey as well. You can use it on those sessions where perhaps the energy isn't quite right and you want to get them out of their heads. You want to shift their energy, their feeling. You can use it at the end of, you can just use it to check in. So let's have a look at this quantum life wheel and life score. So you guys are going to do this. If you haven't got it printed out in front of you, just write down your scores as we go along. You'll have 2 lists of scores. So the score scale is, number 1 is strongly agree with the statement. Number 2 is that you disagree with the statement. Number 3 is that you're neutral. Number 4 is that you agree, and number 5 is that you strongly agree. So I'll basically read out the statement and you will pick the score that fits the best for you. You'll put your numbers and you'll add them up at the bottom.
So this is also something that we could even do with a group of people, right?
Yeah, you could definitely do it in a group. Yeah.
So this is perfect that we're redoing it, because I'm going to test I've got it set up in like a survey tool. And I just want to test how it works before I unleash that on a person.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. And the beautiful thing is this brings in our creativity as well, because you get them to draw their wheel. They can color in their wheel. Like there's the energy, we'll see the emotion scales as well. So it's like you get to see and again, the emotion, it's on the day. It's on the sort of like the last 24 hours where that energy is leaning towards, because we're not looking for somebody's default. We're like, how is that energy moving around? Is it moving around? Again, like Joe Dispenza talks about how you feel once becoming a personality trait, because you feel it over and over and over again. It starts off just being like, something you feel in the moment, and then because of the belief systems, you feel it over and over, and then you're like this grumpy person. Or as I used to be, like super angry. I used to have so much anger. So we're just looking to help people to identify where or how their energy is moving right now, because we're always working in the present, right? With a view to going forwards. So let's give this a shot. So the first question, I actively invest in my own growth. Strongly agree, strongly disagree, neutral, agree, or strongly agree.
Wait, I'm sorry. What are the scores again? I was just gonna try to print the wheel. Yeah. Oh, thank you.
I can add something that might help you. The numbers. So lower number means you're less. It's worse. Worse kind of situation.
Oh, got it.
So that's the strongly disagree, and a big number is good. So strongly agree.
Thank you.
That's helpful. Next question, I have a clear vision of how I want to make a difference in the world. Get that scale again. Strongly disagree, number 1, strongly agree, number 5, work down, pick the number that fits for you.
Can you say that one again? Sorry.
I have a clear vision of how I want to make a difference in the world.
Okay.
And if somebody questions you on that, what does it mean? It's like, if you're leaving a legacy, what does it look like specifically? It has to be clear. It has to be like, I know what I'm here for type understanding, not just, oh, well, I think I want to do, start a nonprofit, or yeah, I know what charity I'm donating to in 2022. It's like clear. I have a clear understanding would be 5. I am generally happy with life. And again, this is coming to feeling. If their feeling is not, I'm generally happy with my life, and they've got to strongly disagree. I direct my days with organization. I respond to challenges with positivity. I will do what is right, even if I face judgment or negativity from doing so. Checking in, right, internal compass, what they feel is right, not what they think they should do that they've been told is right, internal compass. I know my top 5 values. I can clearly see the life I am creating. They ask you again, if they check in and they're like, well, what does that mean? You want to say to them, you should be able to describe their ideal scene, their ideal day. I know my top 5 strengths. I know my top 5 weaknesses. Compared to my peers, I describe myself as a high achiever. Communication is one of my big strengths. I feel creatively expressed. If they say, what does that mean? It's like we all have that playful creativity inside, right? So it's you get them to check in, like, are they expressing that? Are they creating what they want? Is that creative feeling transmuting to creation? Even if it's just the coloring in, the making Play-Doh statues with their children, like whatever level it is for them, because again, it's a feeling of being creatively expressed. My life is exactly as I want it. I regularly push through my comfort zone. I have the physical energy I need to hit my goals each day. I have the mental stamina I need to hit my goals each day. I am able to stick to my goals. I'm surrounded by the people who have what I want. Again, this is, if they question that, it's like, it's the people who are inspiring them to play bigger, to be more aligned. So it's like, and this is an attraction thing, because we want to be looking at where their level of attraction is. Because if they're surrounded by people who have what they want, that means their energy is pouring out through the vision of what they want. If that makes sense. And I feel well supported. All of these first load of questions are looking for their level of flow. We've got 7 coach principles, 7 quantum coach principles. Are they on this page? No.
When I was thinking, of applying it to a person, I thought to myself, like, that first set of questions, they're like a subscale, and I sort of called it like balance, flow, harmony, resilience, because some words might resonate better.
Yeah, totally.
Can you say that again?
So these first set of questions, I call them subscale 1, and I talked about them being a measure of balance, flow, harmony, and resilience. Sometimes people might think flow, what's, like the language might. So I thought of a few different words to describe it.
Oh, cool.
Absolutely. And there is like a section in core 2 that's about communicating and using the language that resonates with your clients, because that's super important. They've come to you as a quantum coach, but it might be that they know absolutely nothing. And it's a learning journey, right? And you've got to imagine there's a huge amount of trust in this process. Like, I think you even said it in our session A on the weekend. I know this stuff. I'm trying to trust it. There's something inside of me that's resisting that trust.
Yes.
The quantum coach principles we have, and I want you to look at these and make sure that these are part of how you're showing up in your life with your business. Committed, trusting, truthful to yourself, embracing discomfort, embracing joy, feeling supported. Now, this really should come from within. But we can, and this is what we look into in the next training session, having a mastermind, having people on the same level as you with the strengths that plug your weaknesses should definitely, like we are, and again, polyvagal theory, wired to connect. We're not meant to do this on our own. And taking action. So again, these are the elements of being in flow. A quantum coach should definitely be in flow. And so with these questions, we are looking as to where this person is out of flow and in flow, and bringing awareness to it so we can bring it back into balance. I've just lost our quantum wheel. Hold on.
Who came up with the quantum wheel?
Me.
You did? Wow. Okay, cool. I wasn't sure. I was like, wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
This is like
William came out with
patent this. Wow. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Wow, Claire. I didn't realize you made the wheel.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I made the wheel. It's funny actually, this symbol, this infinity symbol is such like such an important symbol to me. Like it's on my wedding ring, look. And yeah, it was the logo of my very first business. But I feel very connected with this symbol.
I love that symbol too.
Yeah.
Now, could people do this on their own, or is it better to guide them through it?
They could do it on their own. And actually, like I would say, once you've done it with them a couple of times, make sure that they've got hold of it, because you can say to them when you're feeling unsure, when you're feeling unclear, when you're feeling, having these tools is like, it's like me going to my oracle cards. Just having a little bit of, there's nothing in here that is advising me. It is bringing what I'm feeling into perspective. It's giving me awareness of other perspectives on what I have, right?
And so it's printable and we could give it to them.
Absolutely. There's a client version underneath.
One thing I'm getting like stuck on, and it made me lower my score, I think because it says like top 5 values, top 5 strengths, top 5 weaknesses. When you saying the word 5 makes me feel like I don't know what they are. Like, do I know what my core values are? Yes. But when it says top 5, it makes me feel like, well, is that like a thing? So then it makes me feel like there could be like a sub worksheet on all 3 of those things. If a client, like, if we get to that point, a client's like, I don't know. I mean, we could coach them through that, but there could also be like a sub worksheet. Do you know what I mean? Like a value.
There is, yeah. So in core,
there is. I think you said that.
Yeah.
I'm just stuck on it.
No, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. Like, so it just shows that it makes sense, right? So in core 2, you will then, because that's actually part of taking them through that framework. Authenticity. There are 4 tools that help you with that first stage. The anchors, the values, the joy GPS, and the energetic leak identification tool.
I remember you talking about that in one of your lives. That was good. The energetic leak.
Powerful, eh? Yeah. And again, we want to be equipping people to have these tools. One of the biggest things that got me fast success as a coach was when my clients would be like, Working with Claire, I just have a toolbox. Like whatever situation I'm in, I've got a toolbox that I can go to. Now in course 3, you'll be looking at whether you want my toolbox or whether you want to create your own toolbox. And actually your final
That was my next question.
Your final assessment is you're putting together your business, and you submit your business with your ideas, your plan, your tools. And I'm happy for you to use my tools. But if you like, because you're quantum coaches, you're the most creative people, you're in the Unleashed Accelerator. I feel like by the time you get to core 3, you're going to be excited about creating your own tools from your story. But there's the option not to, right? The most important thing is that you feel empowered as a coach to go out there and coach.
And are most coaching programs, is it sort of like regurgitation, like you're just using other people's materials rather than developing your own?
Definitely. Yeah. I feel like this program gives that creative expression, gives that opportunity, because that's the type of people who I would generally work with, is creative people, just like you, Ivy. It's like that's our jive. We struggle to sit in boxes. We struggle to stick to worksheets. We struggle to follow so why go into that resistance? It's a calling to again fill that little piece of the market that is yours in your way. If you look at a lot of personal development, is all saying the same thing. All the books say the same thing. They just tell them through different stories and name them different processes and things, but it all comes down to the same thing, doesn't it? So you find your way, your expression of it. It's going to resonate with people who have a similar story, a similar vibration, a similar, you'll be calling in your tribe.
I like that a lot. It's almost like by creating that, it's like the ideal client and that avatar will show up because it's like made for them.
Exactly.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And that's why core 2, when you're helping them with the values and alignment, you're helping them to release the things that are not in line. And that's hard. Like that's actually a part of the journey, the coaching journey, that people don't expect. It's like they think a lot of like creating and acquiring, but not actually the physical letting go. Relationships being one, communities, situations that just don't make you feel good. You guys have all been through that coaching with me, where you've just looked at something and you've gone, it's not good for me.
100%.
And you're going to take your clients through that journey as well, shedding, aligning, releasing, letting go. Okay, so the next set of questions are really looking where they're out of flow. So you just, it's the same numbers, but the high number goes against the bad things, basically. So I don't have the time I need to get the things done I need to do. We're still on that same scale. Strongly disagree is 1, disagree is 2, neutral is 3, agree is 4, and 5 is strongly agree. I don't have the time to get the things done I need to do. I let fear guide my decisions. Life is a struggle for me. I feel overwhelmed regularly. I'll avoid challenges where I can. I wouldn't describe myself as productive. I'm not experiencing the results I want. I find it hard to make decisions. I struggle to speak my truth. I avoid confrontation. I struggle to set goals and make plans. I get easily distracted. Oh, the hiccups now. I was doing handstands before this. I probably swallowed a bunch of air. I often feel isolated and unsupported. I regularly experience mind fog. So if you think about that first part of the framework, authenticity, this is huge. This is getting them to really show where they are not authentic to the true self, because the true self knows what their truth is and speaks it, has confidence around, and they're creating the results that they want. So it's really starting to see where the work needs to be done, right? Now, so you should have two lines of numbers now. And you're going to think about the emotions that you have felt across the last 24 hours. And you're going to tick the ones that you have felt. And it's fine if you felt all of them. So frustration, anger, fearful, dread, reactive, sensitive, anxious. And then on the flip, we've got grateful, happy, clear, positive, hopeful, optimistic, joy. Michelle and Liz actually helped me to change the wording of them so that they reflected better. So there's been a version too. So I was really thankful.
I remember actually, because we changed that dread word, and then the next day somebody talked to me about dread, and we're like, there's the confirmation. That's the right word.
Yeah, that's definitely the word.
It's a powerful word.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So now we want to highlight the statements in the first list of scores that you had that have scores of 2 or higher. So basically any score that's a 1, we're just going to ignore and disregard, and you're going to add the highlighted scores up and put that number out of 100.
You said 2 or higher, add them up?
Yeah, so anything that's 2 and above, right? If they're number ones, we just want to ignore. Like 15 million COVID related messages coming in all directions from all different places. The school, the kindergarten, the children's daycare. I can't keep up. I'm tapping out. Then on the second list, you want to be adding up the scores that have 2 or higher, but this time the number is out of 14, and it might be that it weighs heavy, so it might be that there's a bigger number above the 14, and that's okay.
Wait, what do you mean out of 40 and out of
Sorry,
100?
out of 14. So
Oh, 14. I see now.
we had 14 questions, but your score might be 86.
Okay, got it.
You, Michelle, moved these letters too, didn't you?
The C and the D have to swap. I haven't actually moved them yet. I don't have the graphic, but the C and the D need to swap because they need to be able to flow A, B. As you're coming back, you need C on the right-hand side.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. No, you're totally right. So I will update this again.
So until we're trying to, work through it ourselves. Yeah, they need to swap. All the explanation is all fine.
Yeah, no, that's cool. So we'll just
What do we add? We don't add the check marks. Just the.
What you're gonna do? You're gonna it's a very fine line. That'll take me half the day to.
On the other side, what was the rules for adding?
So what do you mean?
Still
Like
all the anything that's 2 or greater, still add them all up so you get the total, like the sum.
So we're not adding the ones up.
Don't add the ones, no.
On both sides. Okay.
Yeah.
Can't make it work. So you're just going to draw your wheel and you're just going to put the C and the D in different spaces.
Oh, I see what you guys are talking about.
So
this is printable.
This is printable, yeah, and I will update the sheet. It's not covering it up. But yeah, you'll swap those around, and what you're going to do is you're going to, with the emotions, so we obviously have to swap the spirals as well, Michelle. So the green spirals on the right and the red spirals on the left.
Red is no, that's hang on a second.
Spirals stay in the same place.
1 second, I've forgotten which one is which. Positive emotions would be green, would make sense. Negative emotions would be.
Yeah, so the whole spiral has to, you felt like it felt better on the right hand of the wheel.
Actually, when I was working off a hard copy that was black and white, so I didn't know about the colour.
Yeah, because the letter reflects the colour of the wheel. So basically your positive, will have the positive emotions over on the right hand side, and what you're doing is those numbers of ticks, you are saying, so if you had 7 ticks, you do the whole spiral. So it's a nice full spiral. And the same with the negative emotions. You might have only had a couple of negative emotions, so it's only got like a little bit of the spiral. We're basically looking at the energy weighting.
Yeah,
go on.
I think that the inner spiral on the left needs to be flipped, so both the spirals are going in different directions.
Okay, I love this discovery. We'll get there in like session number 5, and we're like, got it, we've got the wheel right.
I'm so visual. I'm sitting here going, yeah, that's right. I'm with my head.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. I do know what you mean.
Right? Okay.
Flip it. So yeah, okay.
Left one.
We have to go.
So they're not. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, because it's floating that way. Yeah, instead of both. Yeah, no, I completely get it. What we're looking for actually is balance, because it's okay to have all emotions. And it's okay to, what you're going to see now as well is like, what is the weight of the emotions versus the scores as well. So you're going to put your scores, score number A. Oh, I need to get this off. Hang on. Score A, which is out of 100. Do I stop that?
Oh.
Yeah,
I got lost with I'm sorry. I got lost with the tick marks. Those are the dots on each side.
Yeah, they are. So so if you've got 7 positive emotions, you go over 7 spots. If you've got 1, you'd go over 1. If you've got 2, you go over 2. It's basically a visual representation of the flow of emotion. Because the power is actually, and this is what you'll be helping them to do as quantum coaches, is to welcome and accept all emotions and have emotions being what they truly should be, which is energy in motion. It's okay to have an angry moment, but we need to move it along. And the anger needs to come from a present place, not a past place. If it is that, again, the personality trait, the angry person, that's not good because it's born out of the situations from the past. But if it's a reaction that is, appropriate, we have anger for a reason, right? It's a fight as response. We're helping them to see where they're out of flow. So you're going to put the A score against the A. So you'll be putting here whatever you got, maybe like, what's your score, Ivy?
78 out of 100.
Nice. So you just write it in there. And then the same with the B score. What did you get for B?
16 out of 14.
Nice. And now we want to get the life score, which we'll put in the middle. And you get that by following these instructions here. Dividing your A score by 100 and your B score by 14 and adding them together. Ivy will put your life score in the middle. Yeah.
So you mean like, wait, divide, like I would do 78 divided by 100?
Yeah, and then put that number to one side. 16 divided by 14, put that number to one side and then add them together.
1.92, just saying.
You got the same?
Oh no, I'm just adding, I've got a calculator here.
Oh, yeah, I got 1.92.
Oh, wow. So that's your quantum life score, which is extremely close to the number 2. We are looking for the number 2, which represents harmony and balance. The further away from number 2 your score is in either direction, the more out of harmony and balance your life is. We want to be helping our clients to work their way to the optimal score of 2. Obviously, harmony and balance flow.
So if someone's out of balance, it would be lower or higher, or just, it doesn't matter, it's just further away.
Just further away.
I do not even know how you came up with this system. Wow.
Yeah,
And is that number 2?
I think it was channel day, because once I'd done it, I was like, wow, that was weird.
This is like, yeah. I'd go with that. And is that a numerology thing with the number 2?
Absolutely, yeah. So so let's fill in your spirals as well. How many negative emotions did you have?
Oh, 1. No, 2. Yeah, 1.
Do you see how that really matches up with the B and the negative emotions? It's like you're showing that that's why you've got this lovely close to the 14 score. What about on the positive side?
6.
Yeah, again, it's matching up. So you can see movement of emotion, you can see like healthy control of emotion, because if this was full and this was like really, really high, like 86/14, for example, you'd be like, oh, okay, there's too much negative emotion here. And in all those areas of her life, she's out of flow. There is lack of confidence, there's lack of authenticity, there's fear of confrontation, there's, do you know? Now,
Do you know,
one.
and is that why you say like what happened in the last 24 hours? Because it's like, it's, that's like not fixed. Like it's sort of like just to see what's normal.
It is to see, because you'll know that there will be predominating, like I say, like Joe Dispenza teaches us that once we start to feel a certain emotion and it becomes our state of being, it's a personality trait. We become an angry person. So
Yep, I see that. I definitely see that with certain people.
Yeah, it's that
One might be my husband. I'm like, oh, it's like, why can't I get the work done right? Why do I hire people? It's just like, it's a mindset. I'm like, you're projecting it to the universe. And it's now this thing that keeps happening to you over and over and over again. So it's interesting.
You will see this will give you so much insight into your clients, because what we then do next is the second part of the process, which we'll show you in the next training session, which is how you take this quantum life score and the certain things that are in there, like you start digging back into what is actually going on for them. So am I able to get rid of that scribbles? No. No, yes. Do you know what happened to me once on a network marketing presentation? So I'd been in network marketing for about 2 weeks and I was doing my launch, this is what I'm doing. Everybody should jump on. It's so exciting. And I did an advert on Facebook actually, and I ended up having like 70 people that I didn't know show up to this presentation. And I'm halfway through, I'm in my flow, and this starts appearing on the screen. Really slowly, little thing up here.
Oh my
Yeah, I was like, stop it! Stop! Oh my God, stop! And I didn't even know about annotating on Zoom. And so obviously somebody just didn't really agree with what I was saying, or
Oh my God.
Oh, because you allow them to share their screen without knowing it. Oh my God.
Not sharing, but you can doodle.
That's
I was
Wow.
absolutely mortified. I just left this penis there for like the whole thing and just like pretended like you couldn't see this. And then oh gosh. And I wasn't sure how to see who was doing it either. It was a mess, but it was quite funny.
I didn't even know you could draw on the screen.
Well, don't let other people draw on your screen.
Right. Good lesson to learn.
Message there.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. That's cool.
So we've got 4 minutes before the end of the session. So I just quickly want to show you how next session, what you'll have is you'll have this beautiful, and you can either do this as 1 session or you can do this as 2 sessions. You can whack the quantum wheel out quite quickly. And you'll be able to see straight away, oh, okay, we need to do some work over here, or oh, we need to do some work over here. Or so you'll then use your intuition to start digging into some of these areas in more detail. And again, there is a framework as to how to do that, which I'm going to teach you in the next Quantum Leap intensive training. To help you to come out of the Quantum Leap session, they are firmly clear on the vision of what they're creating with you, that what their quantum leap looks like, how they do it in a really supported way, how they start taking action right away as well and stay accountable to that. And yeah, how you just really deepen their own awareness of what's going on for them, but what the solution is that they want. Any questions?
Well, like, what happens when they get this score and it's like not a good score or whatever, you know,
Well,
like,
this is why you'll go straight from, you won't just let them sit there like with a score of 10 and they're like, oh my God, my life is awful. Ah. You're
right,
just like,
right.
you'll be like, you know, that's a little bit away from 2, but that's great because that means there's stuff for us to work on. And guess what? I'm here to work through it with you. And my goal is over the next 6, 8, 12, you know, whatever it is, your duration of the program, we're going to get you to a 2. We're going to get you as close as possible as a 2. We need to know what's really going on. So are you open for me to just ask you a few questions and start helping to create the vision of what you want in your life and who you want to be playing out that vision? And they'll be like, yeah. And then you dig into the next phase or the next step, which is what we're going to cover in the next training session.
Cool.
But between now and then, I would love you guys to practice this between yourselves, film it, put it in the Google Drive link. Michelle, if you don't want to practice again as whichever one you did, that's absolutely fine. Your assessment is, I have assessed on the, so you'll receive.
Observation, like I learn a lot, you know, with observation. So yeah, happy to jump on.
Yeah, whatever works for you, because I know, mama life is demanding, so we don't want to put too many more demands on.
It's a little bit easier to cross over times with USA than the UK. Actually, we've got
it is, isn't it?
Yeah, we've got much more overlap in our days. So
yeah, I agree. Yeah, my UK clients are killing me slowly right now with these early starts.
Yeah.
It's my own fault though, because I want to get up and do this morning ritual before it, but it's like dragging myself out of bed at 4 a.m. Mackenzie.
Yeah, I just have a question. So when we're doing these, would all 3 of us be on? Like the person that's observing would be there, and then one of us would be the client, one of us would be the coach?
If you don't want to observe live, that because of time, it works out at about 2 hours and 15 to do. You want 45 minutes, and actually the quantum wheel session is way quicker, so you can probably do it in like 20 minutes.
Okay.
It's just that the full session where you've got the quantum wheel actually filled out and the follow-on steps would be 45 minutes, like a 45-minute session.
And so then when we're if we're coaching a client, how are we opening the session? Like, what are we saying? Welcome to, your, like, our first session. We're gonna dig in here and, get an assessment of where you're at so that we can move forward, or something like that.
Something like that. That's beautiful. I have covered I think it's in this module here, the coaching relationship.
Okay.
Where I talk about, a
big one today. We're going to be talking about the client coach relation.
Yeah, so I think it's this module, this unit within this module that, oh no, it's here, look, the coaching session structure.
Somebody is.
So you can listen to that, and that's going to give you an idea of how to start the session, how to close the session.
Okay.
The flow of the session. Yeah.
Perfect.
Is that good? And I can feed back anyway, and you're going to find your flow with it. You are going to find your flow. And this is why we have the practice sessions, because in the first session, you're going to be like feeling like really, watched and scrutinized and nervous and whatever else. And by the end of the Quantum Leap Intensive, you're just going to be like, now somebody has to pay me because I'm good at this.
Love it.
I feel confident. Cool.
So do we do the quantum wheel without having the second backup questions?
Now, I just want you to practice the wheel. Yeah.
Okay, so just practice the wheel. So it'd be like quick. Okay,
it's going to be quick. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll figure out a time that we can just knock it out.
Yeah, I was
Like,
gonna say either knock it out as one or split it into 3. And if you don't want to add the third as the observer and you want to watch the recording to observe, if you're time poor, that's fine.
Okay.
Make it work for you guys. Like I said in the training curriculum, it's like these sessions, you are each other's allies right now, because you can practice sales conversations, you can practice onboarding, you can practice difficult conversations. Like if you're afraid of confrontation, like I was, how about practicing that discussion with a client where they don't pay? Practice these things out so that when it comes to real life, it's super easy, because you've role played it. Make each other, utilize each other for the duration of the QLI.
Okay. I think Ivy's frozen.
I know Ivy has frozen.
Yeah, I can see you guys, but
Very serious freeze.
I know, right? There we go. Now I'm nobody. There we go.
There we go.
Wait. Yeah, then we can all practice like wherever we might be, or give each other feedback on our openings and closings or suggestions or.
That's right. There's a
whatever.
form in the drive as well. So you've all got access to the practice sessions, and there's a client experience feedback form, coach experience feedback form, observer experience feedback form. You are putting those forms in with the practice sessions. You're returning them to me, but you should share them with each other as well if you're open. Because yeah, like I say, it's all constructive. I've noticed that in my one-to-one coaching with the coach that I hired this year, like it is the most uncomfortable I've been in my entire life. Like he reflects stuff at me that just makes my skin crawl. Like it's awful. It's awful. I have grown so much, because I need to see these things and I need to hear these things and I need to role play some of these things to be able to step fully into my next level and to let some of the things go, or to feel more comfortable about what is uniquely and authentically me, right? So I think these practice pods are superpower for you, and set that intention. Like now you're going into this journey, you're going to be working through the curriculum. In the email that I sent you, I gave the recommended time to spend on the curriculum if you can each week, to chew through it nice and fast. That's going to give you wiggle room if there's times where you can't chew through it that fast, because life does happen. And keep communicating with me if you get stuck anywhere or something's difficult, or you are, again, something's going on with your time. Life's going to happen. You're going to get, you're going to create the outcome that you want as a coach. You're going to start really seeing who you are as this coach, and how this coach approach is going to deepen the impact of what you do with people, create more impact, which means we are creating more impact, because it's a value exchange and quantum results.
Love it.
Perfect. Okay, right. I will jump off.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Joy, I will look forward to seeing your homework coming in and things.
Yeah, I have a quick question. Homework, and there's a quiz. Is the quiz in the back end, or that's a separate thing?
There is a quiz there's no quiz for core. Is there a quiz for core 1?
I think you said there was going to be, but I don't know.
I think I might have decided that I'm not going to give you a quiz on core 1, but I will on core 2.
Just the reflection stuff.
Just the reflections. When I thought into what was going to be most useful for you to, like, it's that kinesthetic, approach. It's really easy when you've got multiple choice to be like, okay, well, it's like, for me, I think it's more important for core 1 to feel like it's yours. You completely get it, you're applying it. That's why the business stuff has come in really early as well. So you're in control of what you're creating. As I get very vulnerable in core 1 and share with you, is that I boomed my coaching business. Like I created a monster that had very, very, guys who take steroids and they've got these massive shoulders and these teeny tiny ankles. That was my business, because I didn't have some of the stuff that I'm sharing with you for you guys to set up early. Look at this stuff now. I never had the resource to know all of this stuff because I obviously jumped in to my mastermind quite late, really, in my coaching journey. And I'd already got some momentum in places. And it was like, oh God, now I have to do all this stuff on like chasing the success, like before the table fell down. So you guys get the chance to do all that now. You get to stand your coaching empire on really solid legs and do things the right way. I learned a lot in the last 12 months of the wrong way to do things. So I've been able to share from that experience and say, look, this works. You know, one of my big learnings was just how much risk there is in PayPal. PayPal is a nightmare as an online coach. There's a real risk in you holding on to your money, basically, because it's not set up for digital delivery of products.
Even for somebody like product based, like actual physical product based, PayPal just held on to their money. They think that the business did something against their, rules, and
that's right.
I hate PayPal for that reason. It's very, they don't make it easy for you to keep your money.
I think it's a lot of risk for small businesses. So I recommend Stripe. I tested a few out, and I asked, the other people in my mind, like, what are you using? And most people are using Stripe, and most of the platforms are attached to Stripe as well. And I think it's for that same reason. It's solid. Yeah. So there's heaps of Core 1's awesome. You're going to enjoy Core 1. You're going to love Core 2.
I'm excited. I'm gonna do this on a client this week.
Yeah.
Love it.
Love
it.
Share how it goes in the group, Ivy.
Yeah.
I will.
How exciting.
I know. So there's an info session tonight for people who are querying, like, what's the content coach approach? I'm curious, I'm interested, but it's going to be the middle of the night for you Americans. Michelle, I think you're already completely like sweet and probably know more than anyone else, so probably don't need to or want to.
You can record it. You know me,
I
I've been
will
going crazy
record it and
trying to but the more that I listen, like what's out there, I'm like, I'm grasping it. So, but yeah, I would like to listen to it.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.